Gang, we back at it again. Fresh back from NAMM. Yeah, I did it. I went to NAMM 2026. We got a lot to talk about. We're going to sum it up. But right now, I wanted to talk about something that didn't know existed, what if it was happening or not. And that was the Rane System 1. I believe that's the proper name for it. And it's a standalone DJ unit that I am excited for. Got to touch it, got to see it. But we're going to talk about it more on this channel or whatnot. So let's get it. We got a video by Guitar Center. Let's go and react to that joint. Whoop. Yes, sir. Hey, you can say what you want about the M Music brand, but when I tell you they don't be playing games with the people that they have demonstrating their stuff from the internal crew, because the weird thing about what a lot of people don't understand about this industry, a lot of people think that it's just people that make stuff that don't do music, bro. It's the exact opposite. They make music,
hey, this is
and they do a damn thing on this side too.
We just stopped by the Rane booth. We're here with our friend Jake, who's going to tell us all about the new System 1. Jake, how you doing?
Big,
yeah, man, I'm good.
Shout out to Jake.
Thanks for having me.
Give us a high level. What's the System 1 all about?
So really, we're excited because the System 1 is
shit
the
look
world's
beautiful,
first
boy.
Motorized standalone
Ooh.
DJ system. And before we had turntables and a mixer. That was where it started for classic, hip hop DJs. And then we got laptops, and laptops were great and convenient, but the technology started to kind of remove the interaction with the crowd and kind of the craft a little bit. But now,
true.
Full circle, and we have best of both worlds. It's a standalone motorized, meaning there's basically a computer inside this, and you get the same kind of traditional motorized deck.
And I feel like when people mention or when companies mention that they have like a standalone unit these days, there's an expectation, which I can get from a consumer standpoint, for it to be similar to the workflow on a computer. But we're talking about a desktop computer, bro. Man, desktop computers can go for as low as $1,200 to about, if you're trying to really go at this gaming server-esque AI type shit, you're going to spend at least 5 bands for your computer, bro. So happy middle ground here, and it has its own independent OS.
Classic turntables. And so that means you have access to all your library. The beauty of this is we have so many media slots in the back for USB and SD cards. And we also have a bay underneath.
And I do have a link in the description box.
Drive, 1 terabyte, 2 terabyte.
I will get my hands on one of these for sure.
To that media, so you can just, if you want, leave your laptop at home and come out and DJ in what we would call standalone mode with the System 1. And in addition to being able to select from all that saved media that you export from your laptop, you can just pull this thing out and connect to Wi-Fi, and you have access to Apple Music, Amazon Music Unlimited, Tidal, BeatSource, Beatport, SoundCloud.
I think Spotify joined the fray again. If I'm wrong, just let me know in the comment section. It don't matter, dog. You got Apple Music. You pretty much got what you need. You feel me? And the funny part about it, and I know a lot of people will have something to say, all my DJ homies or whatnot. Shout out to Swiss Styles too, man. First time meeting him out there now. Real talk. I don't think a lot of people understand that Apple Music has their own little DJing thing now. So if you put music in a playlist or whatnot, it'll blend it or whatever. It's just an option that you can pick. Some people will do it. Me personally, I much prefer this way, right over here.
Export your own tracks to your Dropbox and connect to your Dropbox with the Wi-Fi on the System 1. And what's beautiful about that is we have what we call playlist bank buttons. And so if I have certain playlists that...
And I have this video in the description box so y'all can see it.
To an SD card, and then one is an online playlist on Apple Music, and one is potentially on Serato, I can set a playlist basically a hot button that'll get me there. At a tap of a button, I can go to that playlist instantly without navigating through my library. So I can set up 3 different playlists. Doesn't matter if it's streaming or if it's a saved playlist. So that's a beautiful thing to navigate your music quickly.
At the heart of it is going to be Engine DJ and this really beautiful touchscreen. You can see.
I don't know if he's actually mentioned it, but the same people over there, well, it's not the exact same people. Let's clarify. They're out there in New Zealand or whatever. Is that correct? Let me know. But they're out there in the same area as the Serato gang, you know what I mean? And it's good to see that it's still compatible with Serato. I love the Mcree GoPro. I didn't want to let it go, but that thing was very nice. It just wasn't, I didn't have to set up for the time being. I do now. but I can only imagine the game has stepped up here.
Away. For someone who's new to the Rane,
And it looks like they have new
tell us
waveforms.
a little bit about the actual software
Right.
going on here.
So Engine DJ, a lot of people don't know, we have an entire team in New Zealand.
Oh,
A lot of
okay.
people have
See,
heard of
here you go. You
Serato.
mentioned
They're
it.
also in New Zealand. They're right down the street from our Engine DJ headquarters.
Word.
And so
Interesting.
they've been pumping out Engine DJ software
Cases.
or hardware for a long time, but they were with Denon DJ and Newmark brands. So this is the first time Rane has gotten Engine DJ as an operating system. So think about it as an operating system for your phone, your iOS or Android.
Okay.
Engine DJ just happens to be the operating system for our hardware. And so the beautiful thing with that is we've had years to improve and implement new features to Engine DJ, and now the Rane customer kind of reaps all those benefits of those years of development time. And the nice thing that we added with this is we
Just a quick note. Engine DJ definitely was rough at the very beginning, but you had to be there to experience that. It got a little better during the Mcree GoPro, whatever the hell it was called or whatnot. A little great joint by Newmark. And my only issue with it at that particular time was, beat grids. And I didn't really care that much, but that is a thing. I mean, if it exists on another platform, one has to take heed if that platform is the platform to be fucking with. You feel me?
gave the option by default to have RGB waveforms, which
All right.
before
So
we had our Engine Classic brand, it was like blue,
Confirmed.
green, and white. You can switch back to that, but now this RGB waveform matches other DJ software. So when you're bouncing in and out of DJing with Serato or DJing internally, it all looks the same. It all feels the same because it has that updated display.
okay.
And with Engine DJ, the nice thing is it's come so far that now if you decide not to DJ with the laptop, there's so many options as far as library sorting, library filtering. You can set up custom match rules where if you press the match button, you'll find your next track that matches that criteria. Basically, I say, I want to find any track in my library that is this tempo at this key. I can set that up and press the button, and then I'll have all my options there. So I don't have to.
Yeah, he's just going over basic functionality for those who might be new but are familiar with the Rane brand.
And then we have so many effects that the developers have been working on over the years. There are 4 different effects engines on the System 1. We have touch effects, which allow you.
And by the way, it does have stem separation like the MPC, but it
automatically apply effects when you.
But it does it has the same stuff as like the MPC. Clearly, in music brand, they're just pretty much taking stuff and kind of experimenting amongst their brands. Like Newmark is what would that be considered, mid tier or something like that? Is their mid tier brand, and then when people step up, it's to Rane or whatever. So they got that kind of ecosystem. So you would expect things to be around that same kind of vibe. The Mcree GoPro, whatever, does not have a powerful enough engine. It's kind of similar to like the MPC Live 2. It kind of shares that kind of similarity. I wouldn't be surprised if it had the same parts or anything like that. I don't know anything. I'm just guesstimating, and I'm pretty sure, people will know that. But now we have the new MPCs out, like the XL, Live 3, and they got the 8 cores processor. They have 8 gigs of RAM, and the MPC Live XL is the big mama. Still 8 cores in terms of processor, but now 16 gigs of RAM, giving it a little bit more leniency on the virtual memory, making things a whole lot easier for them to execute what would be more of a standardized thing on your average computer. And those things are big things not to ignore. They are things that eventually, because not everybody wants to work on a computer or whatever. It has effects and stuff too, but I think they have. Okay, they talk about stems, so let's go.
And we are the first and only company to have standalone stems in a standalone player.
All right.
And that means any track you render for stems ahead of time on Engine DJ desktop, that gets saved to your media, and you can access 4-part stems without any additional rendering time on the System 1.
All right.
What I mean by stems is 4 parts. You have vocal, melody, bass, and drums. And I can add those in or remove them as I see fit.
Oh, they got separate buttons for it too. Or is that
right here.
no? Okay, so it really does show some similarities to the MPC XL. In the MPC XL, you have like this Q-Link section or whatever across it on the top. I love the way that they're set up now because it has the information directly in front of you, and it's easier to navigate and see all of that too. Like you don't have to look to the left side anymore. A lot of people ignore it, and that's pretty much their vibes here.
Go to acapella. instrumental only that takes out that vocal. And then I can go into the 4 parts and just leave the vocal and the drums. And I can also use the
Sounds clear.
EQ. And that means the EQ becomes, instead of a 3-band EQ, and it becomes stem control. So the top, instead of the highs, it controls vocal. The middle is melody and bass, and the bottom controls drums. And the beauty of this is you can dial it in so that it's not all or nothing. You can increase the volume or lower it and kind of mix it with your stems.
There's going to be a lot of fun to be had if you're a DJ and you get it. I am fully aware that it does have its drawbacks and stuff like that when it comes down to the stem separation for the Rane System 1. And granted, you know, they made the proper adjustment so, you know, you don't really have to feel it, like you can get your stuff analyzed. Like you can analyze your library. Only thing that I've heard, a shout out to Mojax, is that it does create bigger files. And granted, at this point, depending on who you are and how serious you take this music stuff, you'll have a huge hard drive set, you know, apart from everything else. You know what I'm saying? Or you have multiple hard drives depending on, you know, whatever type of system that you're on. You know, I don't personally think that you should make music on a laptop or whatnot. Or and I get it, like DJs, you have really no choice, and one of the most stable choices that you can have as far as DJing would be a MacBook. I know gaming laptops in the Windows world are much more powerful, but it does not matter if the ecosystem isn't tightly niched with the stuff with the components. And a lot of people don't understand that aspect, and that is the appeal of having a standalone unit that has its own customized ARM processor and customized parts and specs. The less you have to guess, the more optimized the software can be. And that's why I'm very excited about the Rane System 1 because more firmware updates. If I'm not just overstepping my boundaries, I'm pretty sure it's about the same tightly niched team that's worked on the MPCs and all this other stuff. So everybody's getting good advice and all that. So I want to know what you think about this. I personally want this in the lab. And if you're wondering, I will help you out with that price point here. And yeah. All right. So let's go ahead and see that price point. That price point is at $2,500. So that's $2,499. This thing is an absolute beauty. I would love to see some different colorways for this joint, but you know, I guess if we go with standardized all black, I wish they would have did it similar to like the MPC XL. That would have been sick. But you know, I know the reason why they didn't do it, and every single time I look at it, it looks better. It looks great in person. It has tremendous I/O, by the way. Look, bro, like they ain't slacking. They are not lacking. They are not slacking. Look at that. Look at that, bro. Type C, you got Type A, you got a hub. That thing is powered, cooling engine. I'm cooling engine when it's like cooling fans, but you know, anything to sound cool these days, right? Another Type C. Look, bro, this thing is loaded. Mic ends, you know, booth, main outs, XLR, bro. Ooh, wee, bro. This thing has to be a treat, and I want to know what y'all think about this joint because your boy's gonna get one.